Day 159 of the Ukrainian war map, otherwise known as the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Juzzy here. Now, firstly, what I'm attempting to do here is make a bit of a series of down-to-earth videos that attempts to use more so everyday language when looking at current war map events of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So I thought I'd mention that. And starting off as per normal, let's have a look at some of the Russian losses. And I'll get into a few things here. Now, we've got the military personnel that has been effectively killed in combat there. Actually, let me just push this forward to the latest date. Okay, new milestone, 41,000. Okay, approximately, guys, very approximately. This wounded figure, also approximate. In fact, if you do a little bit of math and you have a look here, this number of wounded is 3 times the amount of the killed. So it's not an official number either. Again, this is where the squiggly comes in, another signal or symbol for approximate. But what I find most interesting here is the amounts of what is intended. So, for instance, there was, let's see, 2,900 armored combat vehicles intended for invasion, 1,600 artillery intended for invasion, and we've got the percentage figures of each of these. You can see that the armored combat vehicles have actually exceeded what they were looking to spend, and it just says 100%. It doesn't go anymore. But you're typically going to get killed in action of Russian military units or infantrymen, for instance, about 1 to 200 additional per day. Now, moving on, let's go back to the map here. And what we might do is start with the Mykolaiv region, which is over here. It's written in Ukraine. My Ukraine's a bit rusty, but this is Mykolaiv, which is close to the Kherson region. Now you can see Kherson, it's all in red, so it is actually overtaken by the Russian forces there. Mykolaiv, not yet, but boy, gee, Russia would love to take over Mykolaiv. In fact, just on the weekend, there was some pretty numerous and heavy shellings in the whole Mykolaiv region there. Intended to hit military supply depots, but they were seemingly mostly wrongly hitting civilian locations, which is not good at all, including the kingpin of the Ukraine wheat family. So the one that owns all the wheat. So he died, but that's still pretty unfortunate there too. But let's see, so moving on, the reason for the actual shelling of the Mykolaiv region was in fact due to, Russia was definitely trying to hit some supply depots. And the reason for that is because Russia is wanting to take the Kherson region here in its full totality. And they haven't yet been able to do so, and they're quite aware of an oncoming Ukrainian counteroffensive to take back the Kherson region. And what do you do when you want to take out an army? You take out their supply lines. I think there was a famous military general that said something about military equipment wins battles, but logistics wins wars. So basically supplying the front line with more ammunition, more military equipment, things of that nature there. Let's see, so if we zoom into the Kherson region, which is currently taken, we'll see, speaking of supply lines, we've got the Antonivka bridge that was, it's rendered all but useless, as is the, this is the Dnipropetrovsk bridge. So again, my Ukrainian is very limited, but I am reading it there. And we've also got the dam bridge here as well, which all, for all intents and purposes and all indications lead to it, suspected to be not in use as well. So this is a real big problem for the Russians. They are attempting to plant pontoon bridges in the waterway, or the Dnieper River, more specifically here, this big waterway as I like to call it. But they can be easily destroyed, as easily, if not even more easily, than the bridges that were previously there to supply their infantry at the front lines there. So not a great day for Russia, for sure here. Let's zoom out a little bit. I mentioned this quite a bit, but we've got the Donbass region, which if you're watching and not just listening, you'll see me move my mouse all the way down here. It goes all the way to there, then back up to the rest of it. So a combination of two states or provinces, the Luhansk and Donetsk region. The white area or the negative space here, of course, hasn't yet been taken by Russia. They would really like to take this to consider some sort of really military objective or goal or just a victory, effectively in the military ways there. So, but they're having a real tough time. You can see these arrows indicate that they're attempting to push, but it's really quite the stalemate there. In the start of the war, the Russian invasion, Russia was really good at taking ground, but then we're starting to hit stalemates, and we are soon, in my belief, going to start to see a lot of counter-offensives with Ukraine, who is being depleted of their old Soviet gear, is actually upgrading to modernized NATO or westernized gear there. So they're slowly becoming a technologically more advanced military, certainly as time goes by there. Also, you could say that there's a lot of reports indicating that Russia is actually having quite a bit of trouble with manpower there as well. So they've got some military equipment, certainly running out of it as well, but certainly having some manpower issues, which is just shown in a lot of news outlets and stories there. Now, let's see, just in other news, so Lithuania, which is actually up here, it's actually not quite showing up, but we've got Lithuania there, not really touching the Russian border, except for this little Russian province here that's not connected to the mainland. They're actually advised that they're supplying 10 more APCs to Ukraine. An APC is just an armoured personnel carrier. So I've got a picture up here. It's not quite a tank, not quite a truck, but what it's actually designed for is to be heavily armoured and transport personnel and equipment to the frontline combat zones. So that's what that's all about there. I'm going to probably keep it here, maybe end on a slightly good note and talk about Ukrainian grain is finally being exported from the port of Odessa. As we can see here, Odessa. That A is actually a D in the Ukrainian language there, but Odessa we have here. And this is actually the first time for the grain exports since the war has begun. So that's really good. That's really good to see. Next year's grain exports won't be anywhere near as much as this year. They're not planting as much this year. But what they have right now is from a UN brokered, actually a UN and Turkey brokered deal to get that grain, a safe green line passage out of there to the rest of the world, really, particularly the African nations, which seem to be certainly having a food or supply shortage there. Now, so thanks for watching, guys. Gonna leave it here for now. Gonna be a little bit of a quick one today. I apologize for that. But thanks for watching anyway. Please leave a comment, subscribe, hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up because of all the trolls in the comment section. And I do hope to see all of you guys there in the next one. Cheers.